North Granville Community Church. The chairs are back up. It's going to be exciting this Sunday. It is going to be Easter Resurrection Sunday, and we have a lot going on. So, if you are part of our North Granville Community region area and want to check out all of those things, www.ngccfm.ca has all of our what's happening this holy weekend for Easter. There is a 24-hour prayer sign up that you can go check out. There is a after church brunch of going to be happening. Hello, Debbie. Welcome. And those who have been praying for me, I got one of the big papers back. I did a little bit less than the grade was a little bit lower than I was hoping for, but it's still in the high 80s. So okay, mid 80s. But still, did well. Thank you for your prayers. I have one paper left, and it's the one that's connected to this book, the book we will be discussing tonight on prayer. And those of you who are going to be joining, we're going to be using prayer probably for the next couple months. There are so many good chapters in this book. It is a textbook for me because it was an assigned reading, but I wouldn't call this like academic reading. It is definitely entry level reading. Like you could come into this and not feel overwhelmed, and take a little bit and just savor it for a whole week. So tonight we're actually going to jump one chapter ahead than what I said, covenant prayer, and then we'll go back next week and do formation prayer. This book is not what I expected, because I don't know what I was expecting going into it. It's on prayer, so it was exactly what it announced it would be, but it's laid out differently than I expected. And what I mean is, the first chapter was all about simple prayer. So I thought it was going to be talking about getting more and more mature into our faith. And we had simple prayer. The next chapter was the prayer of the forsaken, or prayer during the dark night of the soul. We talked about that feeling of my prayers are hitting this fog, and where's God? My intellect might know that he's on the other side, but my experience and emotions right now go, I'm lost in this fog and I feel alone. And so that's what we talked about last week. We've talked about in the past prayers of examine. And it's when we look through our day through the lens of where was God? When was God speaking to me? When was he drawing me in? When did I step outside of that and stop? Or what tensions can I recognize when I was far from God? Maybe there was a conflict between you and a neighbor or a coworker, or even just a spiteful moment, and you realize that you had veered off. But also, when was God speaking love into your life? When was he filling you with the fruit of the Spirit? And as you look through your days, look through your weeks, it draws you close. So that is the tears of examine. We talked weeks ago about the prayer of tears, just when, as God blesses you and you know his mercy, just the emotional side that can be felt. And I've noticed this, that it sometimes it comes as we mature, like as we grow. Just This is the pattern I've seen. It might not be your experience, but this is what I've noticed since I was a young adult person, is that a person comes to Christ and they're full of exuberance and they recognize, look at what God has saved me from. And then everything's joyful and they grow. And then you hit this, much like that, the dark night of the soul. And when you come out of it, God just opens your eyes to how much he has saved you from, all the ways that God has moved, and you are just filled with grace and recognition of the vast difference between you and God, and it is overwhelming. The preachers who I've seen weep uncontrollably are normally the ones that are close to retirement, because it is a lifetime of serving that they realize, I can't do this on my own. It's all Jesus. That's the prayer of tears. That and it's any time. It could be a communion service for you. It could be a walk out in the wilderness or in a park, and you're just like overcome with all the goodness of who God is and all He's done for you. Um, and these all fall under seeking transformation we need. So this is going with Ruth Haley Barton's whole statement of we cannot transform ourselves, but we make space in our lives for God to move. So tonight is covenant prayer. Um, and he speaks about it in ways that I've heard before, and he speaks in from perspectives that I haven't heard before. So I think um, there's might be some new insights for some of us, and there might be some familiar reminders that are important and challenging. The quote that starts this chapter is, "What we need is desire to know the whole will of God with a fixed resolution to do it." And that was John Wesley. So the significance of John Wesley is John Wesley is the founder of our faith. He would never, like our movement, the Methodist was brought out by some of the revolutionary thinking John Wesley brought to the church in, I want to say, the 1700s. Do I ever know which year? Church history. Got to take that class soon. So this is any time that you've been led to say, Lord, I commit. Lord, I make this promise. Lord, I make this decision. That is a covenant prayer between you and God. Covenant prayer is the profound interior heart calling to God in a covenant prayer is a profound interior heart call to God, intoxicated life. It leads us to the crossroads of personal decision. It guides us through the valley of sacred commitment. It beckons us up the alpine pathways of holy obedience.